Thanks for joining me again. Today we're going to explore upper structure triads to apply to comping and playing through standards. The basic idea is that you can create voicings by placing a triad in any inversion in the right hand over a foundational structure in the left hand. So let's go to the piano. The basic left-hand structure on which to build your upper structure triad voicing can consist of anything from a single root note to combinations of shells and guide tones. We can use C major 7 as an example, which can be created by placing an E minor triad over various left-hand shells and guide tones for C major 7. I can play an E minor triad in any inversion with 3 or 4 notes, and I can place it over a root. I can place it over a root in fifths, a 1 in 7, a 1 3 6, a 5 3 6, or even a 1 5 9. So how do you determine which left-hand structure to use? The determining factor is how many guide tones are contained within the right-hand triad. If both the third and the seventh are in the right hand, then playing just the root in the left hand is fine. If the third or seventh is missing from the right-hand triad, then play it in the left hand. Just make sure the chord is complete. The guide tones have to exist somewhere. So returning to our C major 7 example, since the third and the seventh are contained within the right-hand triad, only the root is needed in the left hand. Any additional notes would be icing on the cake. On the other hand, you can create a C major 9 by placing a G triad over a C foundational structure. In this case, there's no third of C in the G triad, so we have to place that third in our left hand. So therefore, 1 3 shell or 1 3 6 structure will be an effective left-hand structure for this upper structure triad voicing for C major 9. So let's get started by playing through the following progressions using UST voicings. I have 10 progressions here. They're pretty intense, so if you're just getting started, I would recommend progression number 1, number 2, and number 7. But let's dive right in here. So number 1 is basically playing through the circle of fourths, playing all major 7 voicings. So the way I'm creating these voicings is I'm playing a minor triad built off the 3rd scale degree. So for C major, I have E minor. And I'm playing all 3 inversions. And then for F major, I'm playing A minor. And then for B flat major, I'm playing D minor. And then G minor, and so on. And I can go all the way through the cycle. You get the idea? And I can experiment with different inversions. Number 2 is basically just alternating between 7 sus and major 7. So to create a 7 sus, I'm going to build a major triad built off the flat 7 of the scale. So for G7 sus, playing an F triad. So I can play all 3 inversions. And then resolve that to E minor triad over C. And then E flat major over F, and so on. B flat major, E flat 7 sus, A flat major, D flat 7 sus, G flat major 7, and here we go all the way around. then finally we reach the top. Okay, now number 3. Number 3 is a very basic voicing. It's just building a minor triad built off the root. This is to create a minor 7 voicing. And usually this voicing is played by playing the right hand triad in first inversion. But we can try all 3 inversions. Then I'm going to go to an F7 chord, and I'm going to play the F7 by playing a major triad built off the flat 5. So that's B over F. And go around the cycle like this to A major over E flat, A flat minor, G, right? And so on. Experiment with different inversions. And make sure you have all the guide tones. So E minor 7, the right hand triad has the 3rd, but it's missing the 7. So I need to have the 7 in the left hand. Sorry. And so on. Number 4 is alternating between 13 and 9, so just dominant chords, C13 to F9. To create a C13, I simply play a minor triad built off the 6th, and to create a 9th chord, I play a minor triad built off the 5th. So I'm going to go A minor triad for my C13, and then C minor triad for my F9, and so on. G minor, B flat minor. And I've broken up the left hand shell so it's a little bit more interesting. And so on. You get the idea. And continue that through the cycle. Number 5, I get into some augmented triads. Again, I'm just playing around with dominant chords through the cycle. So to create C7, I can play an augmented triad built off the 3rd scale degree. So E augmented creates a C7 sharp 5. And then I can build an augmented triad off the flat 7 of F7. So if I do that, I'm missing an A. I'm missing the 3rd of the chord, so I have to play that 3rd in the left hand. So keep that in mind. But notice how I have the 3rd in the chord for the B flat 7 sharp 5, since I'm building the augmented triad off the 3rd. If I build it off the flat 7, I have to add it to the left hand, and so on. Okay, you get the idea. Now, number 6, I'm going to play a major triad off the 6 and put it over a C7 shell. So that's going to give me a 13 flat 9 voicing, sort of like the intro chord to Charlie Brown. But this time we're going to go to a sharp 9 chord, so I'm going to build a major triad off the flat 3rd. There's G over B flat 7, and then G flat major over E flat 7. Through the cycle, and so on. Now, number 7 is a little simpler. This is just a 2-5-1. Okay, so for the 2 chord, I'm doing a major triad off the flat 3. Very useful. So E flat major over C. Now for the F7 flat 9, I'm going to play a diminished triad off the flat 7. Be careful here. Here's the diminished triad off the flat 7. If I invert it, I get a minor 3rd and a tritone. So it's a little more tricky than a diminished 7th chord. A diminished triad is a little bit more challenging of a shape, but it's a good idea to get it in your fingers. So get all 3 inversions. So it's like F7, but I've omitted the 5. Okay, so there's no 5 in that chord. And then B flat major, I'm just playing a minor triad off the 3rd scale degree. And then I'm going to go to B flat minor 7, E flat 7 flat 9, so diminished triad off the flat 7, sorry, and then major triad off the minor triad off the major third. It's hard to say that. Let me continue. This is not notated, but I would continue all the way through the whole cycle. Almost there. E minor 7, so that's G over E. All right, and then we got the diminished triad built off the flat 7. And then finally F over D for D minor 7. Okay, we're almost there. Number 8, we're getting there. Now number 8 is minor 2-5. That's a little bit intense. We're going to build the minor 7 flat 5 by placing a minor triad built off the flat 3. So E flat minor over C, any inversion. Now to create the F7, I'm going to create F7 alt, flat 13, flat 9. So I need a minor triad built off the flat 2. Now you notice there's no flat 7. I have to add that to my left hand. And just to make it so there's less space in between the hands, I can also play the 3. I can play both guide tones in my left hand. And then I'm going to go to a minor 6-9. This one is built with a major triad built off the 5th. Okay, there's not a lot of information in this triad, so I need to add it to my left hand. I need the guide tones. I need the flat 3 and the 6 to complete the chord. So to create that B flat minor 6-9, I need both notes in my left hand. One more. E minor over that E flat 7 foundational structure. And then E flat major over A flat minor 6-9. Guide tones. Okay? That's a challenging one. Number 9. Number 9 is basically a 2-5 with a chromatic line in the middle, so I'll show you what I mean. C13 minor triad off the 6. And then C7 flat 13, make it an augmented triad off the 3rd. And then a minor triad off the 5th for my F7 sus. And then a diminished triad off the 5th for my F7 flat 9. So I have this inner line. I have this little moving line. This, if you hear this A to A flat, to G flat. It's sort of a line cliche. It's an inner line. Let's try it in B flat. So B flat 13, B flat 7 flat 13, E flat 7 sus. And continue through the cycle. Finally, number 10. Number 10 is inspired by the great Cedar Walton. Okay, I'm going to use some major triads, upper structure major triads for dominant chords. So I'm going to start with A over C7, then A flat major over C7, creating a C7 alt, and then G flat major over C7, creating sharp 11 flat 9. Finally, F major 7, which is just the basic minor triad built off the 3rd. And then I modulate here. I move a tritone up and start over. So this is B13 flat 9. So that's A flat triad, G triad, F triad, and finally G sharp minor. And then B flat 7, B flat 13 flat 9. So G triad, G flat triad, E triad, and finally E flat major. Okay, so here are some common upper structure triad voicings organized so that you can create some 2-5-1s in major and minor. There's a similar chart in the book, but this one is a bit more manageable. So let's see what we can create. If we create, let's see, if we start with a D minor 7 voicing, major triad off the flat 3, and then we move to a G13 flat 9, so that's a major triad off the 6, and then C major 9, so that's a major triad off the 5 over a 1-3-6 structure. We can use that for 2-5-1. If we're in minor, we can do, let's see, we're in minor, we can do a minor triad off the flat 3, and then we can go for a minor triad off the flat 2 for G7 flat 13 flat 9, and then resolve it to a major triad off the 5, this time over a 1 flat 3 6 structure. Okay, so now comes the part where we apply UST voicings to a real situation. On page 115 from the book, USTs are used to comp through polka dots and moonbeams. So I'll demonstrate this using the play-along track. And for this, I will notate the upper structure triad used. And so you can take a look at the notation. So here we go. I might experiment with different inversions. And finally, USTs can also be used to play a melody. Here is a ghost of a chance. The melody is not notated, but the idea is that you can outline the melody by playing the UST voicings as long as you choose the correct inversion of the upper structure triad. Let's give it a shot. fourth voicing, which we'll talk about in a later video. Stay tuned for other YouTube videos highlighting other parts from Introduction to Jazz Piano Deep Dive. Feel free to subscribe below. Thanks so much for joining me, and see you next time.